Hello, this is Racers Prime, and we're going to talk about everything that you need to know about the aardvark. To start off with, we're going to talk about its origin. The aardvark is a member of the Data order, in which the earliest members were around in the Miocene times in Kenya. The aardvark is interesting enough the only member of that order that's currently still around, and is considered a living fossil since its chromosomes are highly conserved. Its English name was originally an Afrikaans word that means earth pig. Scientific name, Pteropus ape, means burrowing foot of Africa. When it comes to its size, it's a medium-sized mammal. It's a maximum of 2.2 meters long, is 60 centimeters tall at the shoulder, and weighs between 60 and 80 kilograms. In terms of its adaptations, its peak coloration allows it to blend with the soil and sand in its habitats. The aardvark is notable for its earth-based and insectivorous lifestyle, which has prominent and sharp claws attached to shovel-like feet that allows it to dig through soil, sand, ant mounds, and termite mounds, and attack anything that tries to harm it. It primarily eats ants and termites, but it also eats aardvark cucumbers, and it doesn't eat driver ants, it's red ants. It is not only to hear its prey, it allows it to hear nearby predators such as lions, African leopards, cheetahs, African wild dogs, spotted hyenas, and rock pythons. It's a long tube-like snout with a long and sticky tongue and teeth that are made out of versatile that allows it to send out to eat insects in one go, which is can eat a maximum of 50,000 individuals in one night. It has one of the most powerful senses of smell of all animals, not just for how long it knows this, but also because it has between 9 and 11 turbine birds that allow more space for the voice hypertrophy. Controlled by modified magnetic muscles, and it has a prominent olfactory lobe in its brain. Fortunately, I couldn't find an image of an aardvark brain. Its nostrils are able to prevent dirt from getting into there. It also has a more unique digestive system when compared to other mammals, since it has a muscular carrier that grinds foods up, a large cecum, and its salivary glands nearly surrounds its entire neck. Also couldn't find an image of its digestive saliva, fortunately. Skin is strong enough to prevent insects from piercing it. Distribution habitat. The aardvark is widespread throughout sub-Saharan Africa, with the exceptions being Madagascar, as the coastal parts of Namibia, the coast, and Ghana. In the past, it used to be found in the Middle East and Europe, but is endemic to Africa nowadays. It has to be found in habitats that have substrates that can dig through, and there's plenty of habitats around, such as savannas, grasslands, woodlands, and bush. Its average tends to be between 10 and 30 kilometers. When it comes to its behavior, the aardvark is a nocturnal animal. So it's active during the night when the temperature is much cooler. For most of the day, they would spend most of the time sleeping in a burrow that is either made by itself, a burrow that was made by other aardvarks, or a recently made ant's nest. Only noises known to make are grunting sounds, which it makes when it's foraging, and either grunting or bleating when it's frightened. When it's frightened, it either runs into a nearby burrow or makes a new and shorter nest can protect it. Just leave its burrow, it waits for 10 minutes until it's near surrounding predators around, and it runs 10 meters away from its burrow. Waits for a short while, and if there's still no predators nearby, it forages. Although it's well known for its south-based lifestyle, it is capable of swimming, and it can even swim in strong currents. It has a symbiotic behavior with the aardvark cucumber, since when it eats it, its feces contains cucumber seeds that grow in burrows, since the substrates in that are suitable for the plant to grow. The aardvark is mostly solitary though it can live in small family groups such as a mother and her young. It has been to be a polygamous species, so it mates with multiple females. So its burrow. The aardvark makes various burrows in its territory, which some of them is used for foraging, some are used for resting, and to be safe for predators, as there's one that serves as the main burrow and is used for breeding purposes. The main burrow is much deeper and longer than the other ones, since its maximum length is 13 meters. The burrow that is no longer used becomes a port to the ecosystem of Africa. It gets used by other animals such as African wild dogs, anteating chats, Egyptian slit-faced bats, warthogs, hares, mongooses, hyenas, owls, pythons, and lizards. These burrows can serve as shelters for some wildfire, sense of reproduction during life stage. Male would need to use his claws to grip onto female when mating, which could lead her to get scratches. The gestation period is 7 months, and after that, which is usually between May and July, female gives birth to a single cub that weighs between 1.7 and 1.9 kilograms. The cub is born with floppy ears, it's covered in wrinkles, it doesn't have any fur. It's 2 weeks old, the wrinkles disappear as the ears become upright. At this point in time, it's able to move on its own and leave its burrow with its mother. When it's between 5 and 6 weeks old, it starts to grow hair. When it's 9 weeks old, it's able to eat termites. The cub drinks with its mouth for the first 3 months of its life. When it's 6 months old, it's able to make its own burrow, but it will stay with its mother until the next mating season. The adult becomes mature when it's 2 years old. While it doesn't know what its lifespan is in the wild, it has been observed to be a maximum of 23 years in captivity. So, mythology and traditional culture surrounding it, it's put in a positive light by African folklore, since the people who live in sub-Saharan Africa find the fact that it spends most of its time awake foraging its food, it's going out to eat soldier ants very interesting. This is sort of why the Dagbon tribe, for example, believes it has superpowers. Some tribes make bracelets out of aardvark teeth. Goods like charms, while others eat it since its flesh resembles pork. One of the tricks that house magicians do is to make a charm out of the hearts, skin, foreheads and nails of an aardvark, which they pound together with the roots of a baobab tree. They then wrap it in another piece of aardvark skin or put it on someone's chest. This charm is meant to either allow someone to pass through walls and roofs, which of course it actually doesn't do, or allow a burglar to visit a girl without her parents' permission, which is very disturbing. But thankfully this is the only African tribe that does this as far as I'm aware of. The aardvark is one of the ants that some people think that the ancient Egyptian god Set is depicted as having the head of. If it comes to pop culture, the most known of the species is the Arthur franchise, in which the titular character is supposed to be an aardvark. Mind you, looks nothing like the animal, but his earlier designs did. Other pieces of pop culture to features include the cartoon series The Ant and the Aardvark, The Goon Show, which has the animal making a regular appearance, show as the CBBC puppet says is an aardvark. Some conservation status. The species was originally thought to be endangered since it isn't easy to find in the wild, and it isn't considered to be a common species in Africa. However, since it's a nocturnal and elusive animal, and it's been found in the majority of the continent, it's considered to be least concern. This doesn't mean that it won't become extinct, since it's dependent on termites, so if they become rarer, so will the aardvark. This could happen in the near future, since charts have become more common due to climate change, which makes termites more difficult to find. These aardvarks a war active during the day, which could lead it to overheat. This has already happened in the desert as one point in time, since nearly all the individuals that were there died during a drought. So it's in captivity. There were more than 60 places that keep the aardvarks. It's well adapted to captivity and it's pretty easy to look after. It isn't as popular as other African animals and it isn't a threatened species. It's said to usually find fully indoors in African-themed buildings such as burgers over here, or in nocturnal houses. But there are places that allow it to outdoors in the Africa section of the zoo. So let's test be the case with all the UK zoos, for example. The first place to house it was ZSL London Zoo, which housed an individual from South Africa in 1869. The zoo currently doesn't house the species, especially as the last individual who died in the Animal Adventure section, which is the children's zoo of that site. And that is all that I have to say about the aardvark. The sad notes there, but the war have next.